The whole vibe is getting away from perfectionism, getting away from overthinking it. Hello, welcome! In this video we're going to go through how I plan my YouTube videos. This is only like a 20-minute process, so I think it could benefit you if you're a small YouTuber as well. The first thing that's important to remember, I think, is to not obsess over a particular idea. So if once I get an idea, I want to outline it and make the video fairly quickly. I don't want to be obsessing over it, thinking about all of the points I need to include, worrying about it basically by just overthinking it. I would recommend as soon as you get an idea and you've outlined the idea to make the video pretty quickly. That's just something that I've found to be helpful. And it's ironic that I'm saying don't obsess because I have been stressing about this video and thinking like, have I included the right points? Have I got the right tone? Is it going to be helpful? I think now I'm at a point where I need to lean into making videos that I enjoy. Today I got to 300 subscribers, which is really exciting. Thank you very much if you are one of those 300 people. I really appreciate you and I'm so glad to have reached this milestone. This is a video I wanted to make, so I'm like, I'm gonna make it. And also it's interesting to look back. I've been doing these videos for like 6 months now. I did a video about what I've learned in 6 months if you want to check that out. I think it'll be interesting to look back on a video like this, for example, of how I plan my videos, because I'm sure it's going to change over time. So I thought now would be a good time to make this video. In terms of finding ideas for things you want to talk about, I find walking is really helpful. I will often get like just a phrase that suddenly comes to me when I'm walking and I'm like, oh, I could make a whole video out of that. Or even if I don't use that as a title of the video, like I've done videos, no one is coming to save you, or when no one else gets it, or when no one else understands your vision, keep going. Even if it's not a phrase like that I can use, it will still be something that will spark an idea that will lead me down a path of what I want to do. So like I did Getting Out of a Slump, a 4-step compassionate guide, and that came from how to get out of a slump, and then the idea built from there. So sometimes just getting like one phrase and then going into that, and or one sentence and going into that, can be helpful. Also, in terms of finding that phrase that's going to spark off new ideas, I find if you have time, watching old videos helps me. Watching other people's videos, listening to other people's podcasts, or podcasts talking about the topics that you want to cover, or maybe even not the topics you want to cover. It can again just be something that someone says offhand and you can be like, that's something that I could focus on, that could be interesting. Or read through old descriptions. Obviously this is depending on how old your channel is. If you're like brand new and looking for ideas, you're not going to have those other videos to draw on. But I think that again can be a motivating thing, because like for me now, I have so many videos to draw on that if I am struggling for ideas, which thankfully I'm not at the moment, I'm overwhelmed with how many ideas I have. Sorry, that sounds like I'm bragging. I'm not. I'm happy that I'm in this creative mood. But now I have so many videos that I can look back on and be like, I'm going to read the description of this video and see if that prompts me to have any new ideas. I think as well, stop thinking about what you think would perform well or what you should be making, and just focus on something that you want to talk about, because you will then have a lot to say and you will also then have a different energy in that video if it's something that you actually really care about and you're like, I want to make this, as opposed to making something because you think it's the right thing to make or it will get higher views or whatever. Yes, you should make your ideas interesting for everyone else, but if you're also making sure that it's ultimately something that you really want to talk about and you want to make, then it's a win-win situation, because even then, if as many people don't watch it, you still have made something that you're proud of and that you wanted to talk about, and it's out there now and you can be like, yes, I've done that, I'm happy with that one. So in terms of the actual structure, the process I go through, this structure I developed to try and bypass any perfectionist tendencies or overthinking tendencies which I have. I'm thinking of doing a whole separate video about perfectionism because I think it's just such a big topic and there is so much to say, and I have experience with it and experience with dealing with it now, so I think I have some helpful things to say, but I am going to touch on it here in this video. So the structure I do in terms of planning my videos is I will spend 20 minutes outlining the video, and at the beginning, like when I was first getting started, I would set a timer for this because I was like, I don't want to overthink, I don't want to obsess, I don't want to get caught up in perfectionist tendencies. If you are picking a phrase, so for me, if I'm picking a phrase or a topic that I know I have a lot to say about, any ideas will come to me within 20 minutes and I can structure it, organize it, be like, okay, this point is here, this point, this point. Then if afterwards I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed something, I can just make another video about it, and you're doing iterations of the same thing and developing your ideas as you go, because that's what people want to see as well. They want to see a journey, they want to see you change. I used to be very strict and set a timer. Now I normally know about how long it takes, so I will normally do this on my computer because then I can type quickly and I'm not writing out by hand. So 20 minutes to just outline. I work out the title, I work out the text I'm going to put on the thumbnail, I work out what mood I want the video to be. Like, do I want it to be upbeat? Do I want it to be reflective? Do I want it to be inspiring? What are the key themes that I'm covering? Am I covering acceptance? Am I covering individuality? Am I covering creativity? Like buzzwords, I guess, that I'm going to keep coming back to. And then I outline the points. Sometimes I will write like what I'm going to say in the introduction, but most of the time I just go straight to the points. Just the introduction is just hello. I used to script out everything for not every video, but I would like write a complete script, but that was more just kind of helping me get in the zone of the ideas. Instead of now, I've done this, I think I've done what, 58 videos now, or even 59. I don't know when I'm putting this one out, so this might be the 59th one. Take a second for that, wow. Now I know when I put a bullet point of just like a very short phrase, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to say, whereas at the beginning I liked to type it all out, and then it's like I'd already said it once, and then when I was just reading it out, I could either read it out verbatim from what I'd written, from the like script that I'd written, or I could glance at the paragraph, be like, I remember what I wrote about in this paragraph, I've already said it written, now I just need to say it spoken. Because the other thing about if you script every single thing, it's fine if you're doing a video where it's like a montage or you're talking behind the camera, but if you're doing like a talking heads video like this, it takes so long to just read from the script, because you're like, okay, this is my next line, and then you put it down and you say the line, and then it just takes, not only does it take a long time to film, but it takes so long to edit because you have so many gaps, whereas now it still takes a while to edit because I'm messing up my words or I think I've said things wrong. But again, that's something that you don't need to overthink either. The whole vibe is getting away from perfectionism, getting away from overthinking it. You always get another chance. You always can make another video about this topic if you think, oh, I didn't like that. Just make another one. So that takes the pressure off when you sit down to film, because you're like, I have more chances to do this. Yes, I'm doing it now. I hope I do a good job, but it's okay if I don't hit all of the points I wanted to hit. The process is basically think about the idea comes to you on a walk, or you go through and you think about the things you want to talk about, you outline it for 20 minutes, only 20 minutes, and then you film it. And do that within like a week time frame, I think is ideal for me. From having the idea and outlining it to filming it, I think it helps to do within a week, just because the ideas are still going, and otherwise you're going to get other things coming in where you're like, why didn't I put this in? I should have said this, blah, blah, blah. No, film it within the week, and then that bypasses all of that overthinking nonsense. Another tip, batch recording can be helpful. I think the most I've recorded in one day is 3 videos. That was when I was doing my daily video challenge in January, so I was needing to put out a new long form video every day, which was a lot. I have a playlist which I will link in the description if you want to check out the videos that I did. That I remember one day I did 3 in a day. It is a lot though, because you are just talking basically non-stop. I know there are gaps when I'm looking down, but I am talking a lot, and that's not really normally what you do. But also the thing to bear in mind with batch recording, similarly to outlining, is if you're batch recording it for like a month's time, again, you will come back to it and be like, I missed so many points there, or you might have changed something in that time. You might be like, oh, now I have a microphone that I use, or now I use a different plant, or I don't wear that thing anymore, but you've already recorded it because you batch recorded it. So that's something as well to keep in mind of the time frame. But it is good to save time, or if you're really busy and you're like, oh, I'm all set up and I'm ready, I want to film it, then it can be good. And it's good if you're in a good mood or a good frame of mind and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to film, then it's helpful to have a few outlined, a few lined up, because then you can film a few while you're in a good frame of mind. Tips for filming. It does get easier. It is a bit strange because you are just staring at a lens and talking to it like it's a person. So sometimes I do feel a bit crazy. I would say tips in terms of feeling confident. Try and smile a lot. This might be a conscious thing, or it might just be something that you're doing subconsciously, in which case good for you. But that can help you feel confident, because it can help you be like, oh yes, I'm talking about something I enjoy here, and it's going to also make it more enjoyable for the person watching, because they'll be like, oh, like you're drawing them in then if you're smiling a lot. Don't be weird about it though. Make sure you have some confidence around the way you look, whether you do your makeup or your hair, or wear some jewellery, or wear a nice outfit that you feel confident in. I don't wear makeup in every single video I do, but I do tend to, just because it does make me feel more put together, more confident, so I am able to sit down and speak speak loudly and speak slowly if you need, because you can always edit out any long pauses. there's no rush. Also, I would say it does get easier, so just keep going and keep practicing because you will eventually develop a style. I mean, I think I'm still learning. I'll probably look back at some of these videos and be like, oh, I'm talking a bit stilted there, or I wasn't being open. But it's just a process, and if you just surrender to the fact that maybe you're not going to be brilliant at the start, it doesn't matter, and you can then keep going. In terms of editing, I think you will get better the more you do, so it's again a question of practice. It will get quicker, the process will get easier, you will work out what you like to do in terms of adding text or adding effects or sound effects, zoom ins, any of these things. You will get to know like your style and what you like to do from an editing perspective. I would also say keep going, keep noting down ideas even if you don't need them. I have so many ideas on my phone right now and I'm like, am I going to even be able to use this? Doesn't matter, because creativity, I find, just like with everything, there's peaks and troughs to it. So right now I'm having an abundance of ideas, but I'm sure there will come a time where I'm completely drained and I'm just like, I can think of nothing to do. So if I've noted down loads of ideas now, I've basically saved them for that time where I'm feeling really uninspired, and then I can look at them and be like, do any of these speak to me? And then go from there. So just keep going, keep noting down ideas. Keep going as well. Sometimes people will watch, sometimes they won't. If you look at my videos, there will be ones that have far more views than others, but I don't view those ones with less views as like failed videos, because I still went through the same process. I was talking about something I cared about and I was able to express myself and be creative with it. If you focus on that as a process and focus on this as an outlet of like expressing yourself and talking about whatever you want to talk about, whether you're talking about books or makeup or cars or home decor, food, whatever it is, if you focus on the thing that you're passionate about, the views, they will come and go and it won't really matter so much. Like, yeah, it's great. I'm like, oh, this one is really resonating, or people are enjoying watching this, or this is speaking to people for whatever reason. It's great. But equally, if there's one that's not getting views, I still enjoyed making that video and I think it's still valuable. I think remember why you started, because sometimes it can be disheartening, because you do sometimes look at the views and you're like, oh, or I'm not making progress as much as I thought, or this person is doing so well, why am I not moving at the same pace? Comparison is the thief of joy. It's not gonna do you any good to compare. But if you keep in mind why you started this, so I started this sort of as an experiment to try and help people, to share my story, and I'm keeping going because I want to carry on doing those things. So whatever your motivation, your reason for starting, your why, keep that in mind on those times where your motivation is flagging, when you're feeling uninspired. I would also say take a break when you need it. This is again where batch recording can come in helpful, because you'll be able to take a break and people won't even realise, because you have recorded a video when you were in a good mood and in a good frame of mind, good energy, then you could put it out. No one noticed that you were gone because you batch recorded and then you took a break. This whole process of planning videos, filming them, editing them, this whole thing of making videos for YouTube has really shown me, like, I've got lived experience now, that really the way to get through perfectionism is by taking action, because there are so many videos on my channel that I could have obsessed over, overthought, and been like, oh, but this isn't perfect yet, this isn't right, that bit's not right, I didn't say that right, I didn't include this. There are so many instances where I just wouldn't have posted unless I had forced myself to be like, no, leave it alone. We are going to post this. We're going to take action. It doesn't matter if we miss something. We can put that in the next one. It's really helped me change my relationship with perfectionism. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you again for subscribing. I said I got to 300 subscribers. Very, very grateful. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to carry on making videos. I have lots of ideas, as I said. If you enjoyed this video, I will leave my video 6 months of YouTube tips for small YouTubers on the screen for you to check out. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.